My fellow Americans, welcome. I should have put some eye drops in my eye. Woo! Smoking that good. Hey, just call the number down. What's up, man? We about to talk about it right now. The hip hop conquistadors. We be trying to be cool with people, man. We be trying to be cool with people. But us being cool with people, letting them in our circle, letting them kick it with us, somehow that always seems to turn into a negative for us, into something that's ends up ultimately harming us. We be cool with some of y'all, and then 40 years later, y'all come out the bag as just some what? See, this is the appropriate fear black people have. We don't get into it. This is the appropriate fear black people have when y'all other people come around us. Y'all come around us all hella cool. But then you go from participating, being around, kicking it, to saying you co-created it and you created it when you didn't create shit. So we're gonna go into what happened here. Joe Conzo, the photographer, hip hop, somebody who's a photographer in hip hop back in the 80s. This cat right here, apparently, allegedly, this guy played a part in Tariq Nasheed's documentary, Microphone Check, being taken off Amazon and out of theaters. This is alleged. I wasn't there, but this is what's being told. But we do know that the same guy allegedly was also behind the Indiegogo being taken down when Tariq initially did his fundraiser. So this right here lets you know off top that these cats is frauds. Frauds. If what you're saying is real, it can stand up against some real shit. But no, you know you want some bullshit. So you have to get information that's to the greater good of the people taken down because you're alleging that one of your photos were used in the documentary. So this is this was posted on Tariq's page. This was posted on Tariq's page. Let's go to another screen. My conspiracy to destroy black music class starts on Sunday, y'all. We'll get into that. So this is what was posted on Tariq's page. Cohen Media Group. Hi, my name is Joe Conzo, and I write regarding an unauthorized use of my copyrighted intellectual property in the film Microphone Check, which is scheduled to be shown at Quad Cinema in New York City from July 19th through the 25th. For your information, I am a pioneering photographer from the Bronx, New York, who has been heralded by the New York Times as the man who took hip-hop's baby pictures. My seminal book on hip-hop culture, Born and Raised in the Bronx, a visual record, The Early Days of Hip-Hop, 2007 from Rizzoli, has received worldwide acclaim, and my photographic collection is held in Cornell University's Cornell Hip Hop Collection, part of its rare and manuscript collections. In addition, I am a U.S. Army veteran and a retired EMT with the New York Fire Department, who proudly served New York, assisted with the World Trade Center. So he's trying to get all the sympathy love in here, okay? I'm notifying you of infringement of my rights under Copyright Act and counterpart laws around the world. My copyrighted photos, which appear in the film Microphone Check, were not authorized by me, my agent, or the law. For clarity, no authorization was granted to the producers of Microphone Check, King Flex Entertainment, director Tariq Nasheed, or any of their agents to use my exclusive photos in any way, shape, or form. In so doing, the film, its producers have violated the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, yada, yada, yada. As an FYI, Microphone Check was recently sold on Amazon in Blu-ray format. On the advice of counsel, I filed copyright infringement claim with Amazon for the film unauthorized use of my photo on July 14th, 2024. My claim was honored, and the film was removed from the website. So this is apparently a letter by Joe Conzo that was dated July 17th via email. Let's see here. 2 Quad Cinema from Cohen Media Group, NYC. Let me see what that is. So this is Cohen Media Group. So this is the people who own the rights, I guess, to his shit. Okay. So anyway, that's what Joe Conzo did. All right. That's what Joe Conzo did. That's why we got to follow other people that do it. Like Joe Conzo's acting like he's some hell of a dude. Like hip hop history wouldn't happen without him. There are other people who have taken pictures of hip hop history. The primary source for us as black people will literally be family photo albums. We can find a lot of these pictures from family reunions, from when our cousin came to visit us, because usually we didn't take too many pictures back in the 80s and the 70s, unless family was coming up from the South. We can find these kind of pictures all throughout family photo books if you're black. But I guess this means something to you if you're not black, because that's the only way you're going to get the photos, because you weren't there. The rest of us can just go to family photo albums and find these kind of pictures. This shit's only special to y'all. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Joe Conzo or Colonzo, Gonzo, or whatever it is. But these photos only mean something to you guys. The rest of us have these in photo albums. We don't see it as anything serious. Those are our uncles. Those are our cousins, our fathers, our mothers, our aunts, our friends, if you're black. So what you guys think is you doing something special to hip hop history, we call it Monday morning with our family. So I do know that Conzo's photos were used in the trailer, and that's when he got the trailer removed. But when he did the movie, all that shit was taken out. So you see this going on right here. You see this going on right here. And here's the thing about Joe Conzo. He acts like he's some hell of a photographer. He ain't no Ernie Piccanilli. I said Piccanilli. Panicoli. Let's look at Joe Conzo. Joe Conzo and Ernie's Instagram. Joe Conzo has about 3 times the posts, but they got the same amount of followers on IG. Look at Ernie. Ernie is taking a lot of photos. See, Ernie is obviously not all the way Black American. I don't know his full lineage, but I'm looking at his IG, and he has pictures all up and down with the culture, still with the culture, still with the people. You know, I see that he's celebrating Black Music Month here. You know, not trying. I don't follow him closely, but I've never heard Ernie say anything negative or trying to intrude on hip hop history, Black history. And you see the people he's taking photos with. I don't like this picture, Ernie. But this ain't got nothing to do with hip hop. He's just sending. I don't mind this picture, actually. He's talking about sending love to his Puerto Ricans. See here? You know, as a matter of fact, I do like this picture. I just not looked at it. You can have love for your culture. I ain't got no issues with nobody that got love or who they come from. But you don't see him tagging hip hop in these photos. You can love your culture and love your people and still see where you contributed and where you are part of somebody else's culture and thank them for it. You know, you see this. And then you look at Joe Conzo. Joe Conzo's Mr. Hip Hop, right? But look at who he's taking pictures with. He's taking pictures with all the brown. Well, born in the Bronx, okay. Where the black folks you taking pictures with, Joe Conzo? Okay, another one, okay. Okay, you're taking pictures about what you do, but I don't see you around the people. You showing like some old ticket stubs, okay. Okay. He said, let's read this comment he put. Hip hop, disco, a jam, a battle. What was the fashion? Oh, that's easy. All black person has to do is call family members and find out, or friends. I know right now, if I wanted to, I could call people who are former black spades, and they just tell me, Joe Conzo. It's not a big deal to us. Not a big deal to us. We can just call family. So you see, look who Conzo taking pictures with crazy legs. Okay. Who is he with now? I know who I see who he was taking pictures of back then. Got the black afro, okay. But who is he with now? Okay, still more stuff. The past, okay. Okay, here he's on this show with Yo-Yo MC Light. Okay, that was 38 weeks ago. But that looks like official business. Okay, his first time next to a black person was 38 weeks ago. He's celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Okay. Who is Joe Conzo now? Let's just go to who he is now. Okay. Okay, Grandmaster Cass, but Grandmaster Cass is somebody that said the Latinos were not part of what we were doing. This was 47 weeks ago. Any casual pictures with Joe Conzo just being around us? Oh, that's a throwback picture from 43 weeks ago. Okay. He's taking a picture with another Latino. Okay. Over a year ago. Who did Joe Conzo kick it with? Who is he around now? This is a very white hip hop historian. Okay. Okay, this is what you're doing now. Okay, I'm still okay. What? Do you kick it with any black people, Joe Conzo? Or are we just people you come take pictures of like we a fucking zoo? Cause I'm looking at your IG here, partner. And they don't really like you around us much. Other than, y'all remember what Kendrick said about Drake? Remember what Kendrick said about Drake? About how Drake goes down to Atlanta and you basically, you come to Black America and you mine us for culture? That's what this looks like. I'm just looking at Joe Conzo's IG. Your IG is public. Okay, not a lot of them. Okay. Okay. talking about Putin and Iran. I don't see Joe Conzo taking any stances for Black America. You got time to talk about Putin and Iran? Okay, let's see who you kick it with. Okay. Damn. Joe Conzo seems to be the kind of person that only comes around Black America when it's time to hustle up some resources for himself. And this is what I don't like. You get these people that come over here with this colonizing mindset. You get these people that come over here, their culture is not interesting enough for anybody to take pictures of. So they come and take pictures of our culture, and we welcome them. We welcome them. Where was that video? Here it is.
Also, Vice President.
This is something from a channel I saw. This is more Joe Conzo. Let's listen to him talk a little bit. This part here is pretty interesting to me. I want y'all to listen to him talking about what's going on down here.
But Spanish, Black, everything. So, Cockroach Brothers, because I went to school with them. And what's so when I was befriended by.
Here, let me go back.
It
Here we
just
go.
made my art, you know. My first experience with hip hop was like in 78, 79, when I was befriended by Tony Tone and Easy AD from the Cockroach Brothers. I went to school with them. And
so he was befriended. He said he was befriended by the Cockroach Brothers because he went to school with them. Okay. Befriended by the Cockroach Brothers because he went to school with them. Okay.
So diverse here in the Bronx. Hip hop is a culture built up of Spanish, Black, everything. So on one end of the block you have your Spanish music, and at the other end you're gonna have your hip hop music.
That part right there, I want you to go back to.
Spanish.
Here you go. He's going and talking about. This is his words. I don't know how many years ago this was done, but this is his words. Hip hop culture, and I want to break this part down. I just want to break this part down. What he says about hip hop culture. Let's go again.
Here in the Bronx, hip hop is a culture built up of Spanish, Black.
He said hip hop was a culture built up of Spanish and Black. Listen real closely to when he breaks down how the music was being played. Let's go.
Everything. So on one end of the block you have your Spanish music, and at the other end you're gonna have your hip hop music.
On one end of the block, you're gonna have your Spanish music. On the other end of the block, you're gonna have your hip hop music. So, if the two forms of music, according to you, Mr. Conzo, are on opposite ends of the block, that doesn't sound like a joint meshed culture. Sounds more like a salad bowl. It's a bowl of people that's mixed in but not mixing with each other. You just happen to be on the same block because that's where white folks put both of us. They putting white folks make sure that we got one end of the block, and the white folks make sure y'all got one end of the block. But let's listen again.
End of the block you have your Spanish music, and at the other end you're gonna have your hip hop music.
So, okay, if on one end of the block you have Spanish music, and on the other end of the block you have hip hop music, okay, let's take that. Let's take that. On one end, and this is from another channel. This is from another channel. Huh? On one end of the music. So, if the two cultures were on the same block, playing music at the same time, if the hip hop culture is a sample-based form of music, where is the Puerto Rican music sampled into hip hop? And I'm going to go off what he said. I believe him. I know. I've heard. He sounds like every other New Yorker I know. On one end of the block, you have the Puerto Ricans, or sometimes I've heard New Yorkers even say across the street. The Puerto Ricans are across the street, and the Black people on one side of the street. I believe all that. If you're expressing your culture on the same block as the Black people, what aspects of that culture bled into hip hop? What style of dress? Did you guys bring into hip hop? I want to know, what dance did you create that became part of hip hop? What words you use regularly became part of hip hop? Did hip hop start calling women Boricuas? Other than that one song from Fat Joe? Not Fat Joe, Big Pun? Did hip hop ever integrate any of the Puerto Rican lingo into its music? Any of the Puerto Rican music into its music? Fashion, style of dress. If this is true, Mr. Conzo, where? I believe you said on one end of the block is one, and on the other end of the block is another. Hip hop done sample classical music. It done sample jazz. You can find hip hop samples of goddamn Aerosmith. Walk this way. You can find hip hop samples of all kind of shit. You don't find no you don't find that shit in no goddamn hip hop. That's why y'all got to be a part of my classes. When I hit starting on Sunday on Patreon. On Patreon, 888, my live interview lounge leveling up. We got my new series, my new lecture series that we have starting on Sunday. This is an ongoing series. You can attend a one-off and just purchase it right now on my website for this coming Sunday. And if you purchase and decide to stay for the series, you make that'll go towards you. You'll get your first free month on Patreon. If you purchase it, or that's only if you buy this and you want to check it out first. But just go ahead and join the Patreon, because this is going to be an ongoing series. I can't do this in one. I'm going to do an ongoing series on the conspiracy behind how black music was destroyed. We're going to go back to when they brought the heroin epidemic around in the 50s and the 40s to really lock us down and try to destroy us then. We're going to go into the 70s, who and how and why they destroyed black music, and how that went into the 80s and the 90s. This is going to be a pretty long series, but most of y'all only halfway know about the conspiracy to kill hip-hop. That's late. The conspiracy to kill hip-hop, you got to understand, hip-hop, the only reason why hip-hop had a chance in hell was because of the destruction of R&B. Had R&B and our music that we like to make it the way we did it not been destroyed, between taking instruments out of the schools, taking the live music sound out, making us become reliant on sample because we didn't have a new crop of musicians to create new music. All of that stuff is by design. Hip-hop got dumbed down by design. And the only reason why these other groups have a bleeding chance in hell to even come close to even halfway, 1/3, 1/15,000th of a percentage come into saying that they were around claiming our stuff is because, as much as I love hip hop, at the end of the day, it's the easiest form of black music that we've ever created. All of the other forms of black music are much, much, much harder and take more skill to do than what happens in the current hip hop. Not early hip hop. Like when you talk about 80s and 90s hip hop, motherfuckers had to actually rap, and they be tongue twisting and saying shit the rest of us couldn't say. But hip hop of the last 20, 25 years is hip hop. It's nothing but nursery rhyme music that we can all quote. But that's all by design, because the artists, the hip hop artists that were genuine, that really did have the skill, they got X'd out. The singers who really had the skill, they got X'd out. The producers who had new, original, fresh sounds, they got X'd out. The ones who had these the ones who came with this formulaic, processed, factory heard way of doing music, they got signed to big contracts. All of this shit was by design. And so, yeah, but you're going to have to go to Patreon for that, because our YouTube is not ready for what I have to drop in this series starting this coming Sunday. All right. Mr. Jabbar, appreciate the Cash App. And if y'all want to hit the Cash App, donate right now. $ DeJuan Brown. Hit the Cash App. God damn, it's hot in the motherfucker here. Turn my goddamn man. I got an air conditioner right over there, and I'll never hook that motherfucker up. It's getting hot. I can't do it now because I'm live. Shit, I'm gonna have to hook that bitch up. Usually my fan is enough. God damn, it's hot in here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hook that air conditioner up. Anyway, so that's what it is. This is what we deal with. And there are more photographers that are around. And these are dope photos. But let me tell y'all something real quick. To Joe Conzo or anybody else that want to attach a goddamn photo to hip hop culture and history, let me tell you something. Your photos don't mean shit. I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't know who Joe Conzo was until I heard about that. When I heard Tariq's Indiegogo had gotten messed up because of this guy. I had no clue who this cat was. And I promise you, I had never seen any of his pictures. Not a one. I'm hip hop. My generation, my culture. But I never saw none of his pictures. Why? Because what would I need to look at his pictures for? I live the shit. It's like, this is what y'all got to understand. The Puerto Ricans like Joe Conzo and that's y'all trying to come around. Those pictures only mean something to you. Like, the pictures are cool and everything, but for people like me, for those of us from the culture, we got memories. We don't, and on top of that, people take pictures of us all the time. All the white guys that took pictures of the Jazz Age, Louis Armstrong and Dizzy Gillespie, most of those photographers were not black, Joe Conzo. Let me tell you something. The majority of because you're in the United States of America, punk, where people come in and they feed off what we create. And they go home and they feed their families, they buy their houses, and they live their life and mind their own goddamn business. It takes a fucking weirdo scumbag to think that a few pictures entitles you to a culture. Instead of being thankful, grateful, and humble for that culture feeding your family for the last 40 years. Straight up scumbag moves. You said there was one for Apache. Apache's a sample of what? Somebody say if you saw the pictures of Cold Crush, Joe, a hip hop history. I never saw the old pictures of Cold Crush. I never liked Cold Crush. Sorry, never saw him. Never got into Cold Crush. I made good music, but when I hear them, I'm listening to their music. I'm not flipping through a fucking book like, ooh, look at this one and look at that one. Just listening to the fucking music and I'm going to the next song. That's how insignificant you are. I just want to let you know that. And that's with respect. I want to let you know from the soil how insignificant your contribution is. Like, we as black people, our experience in this country, we just always moving forward and always creating. Like, we don't even look back. That looking back on the past shit is for y'all. Y'all gotta study us. Y'all gotta find out what it is going on. That's for you. It don't mean shit to us. Nothing. Nothing. You're very insignificant. You're like a soap dispenser in a bathroom. That's what you are. You're just a dispenser. You ain't even the soap. You're one soap dispenser in one bathroom that has 20 soap dispensers. Oh yeah, cool, I got to wash my hands. But if this soap dispenser ain't got no soap, I'll go to the next one. Yeah, whatever. And if it ain't no soap, I'll pull out my motherfucking hand sanitizer and keep pushing. That's how insignificant you are. You're a soap dispenser. That's it. The culture still moves on without you. And let's go even deeper than that. Let's go even deeper than that. Say hip hop stays in this form it is right here. Let's go to Joe Conzo's IG. He said ain't got no pictures of no niggas, by the way. Only when it comes to posting something that they may say. Let's go back to this. Say these pictures. Let's go to this picture right here. Say, let's look at here. He's talking about birthday hip hop. He's saying, okay, it's ahead of hip hop's 40th anniversary. We're celebrating the genre that reinvented everything. Curated by a whole ass nigga. Featuring 60 plus exclusive editions by 19 artists, we shine a light on the culture's rich history by publishing the perspectives of a few who experience, okay, whatever. So he's saying that, okay, on the elements, I guess he's saying these are his photos. Okay, you took pictures of other Puerto Ricans in New York. You took a picture of a, okay. This is so like rudimentary. This is so rudimentary. Okay, you got a picture of Tito Puente. He don't tell you how, look at this. He put Tito Puente Latin music. Did Joe Conzo put Tito Puente? Do y'all know that Tito Puente got his start playing the Black American drums? Do you know who Tito Puente, according to Tito Puente, do you know who his inspiration was? Do you know how Tito Puente played the timbales? He approached the drums, and his primary inspiration to the drums was this guy right here, Max Roach. Max Roach was Tito Puente's, the person that Tito Puente looked up to on the drums. He's the one that Tito Puente said that he wanted to play the drums like. And then he switched to the Latin drums after first learning the drum set, in which Max Roach, father of bebop drums, was his primary inspiration, according to Tito Puente. Dr. Cologne, if you were here, sit down and get this history lesson about yo culture. So that's who Tito Puente was inspired by. And Tito Puente played a form of music that was created by Black Americans in New York called salsa, Latin jazz, Afro-Cuban. He was playing now if you want to say some 50-50, salsa was 50-50, 50-50 tango and Latin sounds with bebop, Black American harmonies and melodies and rhythms. That was 50-50, but look, do you see Joe Conzo giving a 50-50 credit on Latin music? Do you? Hey, Dr. Cologne, you still in here? You still here getting this lesson? You still in here getting this lesson, this history lesson? Or did you leave? Let me know you still here. With some more. Type another lie in the chat room, Dr. Cologne. Let us know you're still here. Do you see Joe Conzo giving proper credit in Latin music to Black American bebop and jazz? Nope. And this is why we don't play games with these people. When they acknowledge their forefathers, they black out the Black American influence that their forefathers had. They don't bring in the fact that this was a look at Fat Joe. Well, Fat Joe put a like to this. They don't bring that in, do they? That this is a Black American form of music. They X us all the way out. And this is purely Latin, even though they got the harmonies, rhythms, and melodies from us. This is why you don't play games with these people. When it's their history, it's their history. When it's our history, then it becomes our history. You dig? When it's our history, when it's Black history, it becomes ours with everybody else. When we have the written, documented proof from their legends themselves saying that they got it from us, it still somehow becomes exclusively their history. Dr. Cologne, I know you still here getting this history lesson in your music and your culture. Which takes me to this other page right here. It's this page I found recently. Somebody tagged me on this page a couple days ago. Where is it? Let me see if they ain't blocked me yet, because I'm talking all kind of shit on this page. They probably blocked me. Oh, they're here again. Here we go. Here it is. So then it comes to pages like this. What is it? The hip hop creators. Here we go. So now it takes to this page I saw over here on IG. And they have this page called Hip Hop Co-Creators with a Puerto Rican flag. I want y'all Jamaicans to notice something. They ain't put shit Jamaican on this page. All Puerto Rican. Now they'll tag somebody else. Oh shit, I want that whack ass song. Give me a strike. Only if they got only if it has a tie back to Puerto Rico, they acknowledge it. Only if it ties back to Puerto Rico. They're not fucking with y'all Jamaicans. I don't see no Ross Clot, Bumba Clot, nothing on this page. I don't see no Ross Clot, Bumba Clot, nothing. Oh, they got a picture of Dr. Cologne. Let's see what he's lying about right here.
We're talking about hip hop. And for those of you so-called pioneers from the Bronx who are talking about, Puerto Ricans and blacks didn't even get along. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Chat room. I got people.
Where in the Bronx did you live?
Chat room. Do I got any New Yorkers up in here? Where my New Yorkers? I always got New Yorkers up in this bitch. Did Puerto Ricans and black people get along? Huh? Come on, chat. Let me see. I got a super chat here. Oh, that's a good one. Tad Lawson. Tad Lawson says, I recommend that the Cologne and the 50-50 crowd debate the significance of Puerto Ricans in hip-hop against Tariq and others. And the losers go on an apology tour. Yeah, that would be a good one on the significance. That's actually a pretty good idea. Okay, your name is BK. You said nah. Brooke, I know you from New York. Okay, no. Okay. You say no. Bruick, you're from New York. You said no. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's crazy how they want to hide their racism now. That's just a flat out lie. Like, dude, that's just a flat out lie. That's just a flat out lie. God damn, y'all some cold lying motherfuckers right there. That is a flat out lie. Here it is. And for more, here's a book I want you to read. To go have a deeper dive. And I did a show on this before. About a year ago. Well, I want y'all to get a book. It's a book called Racial Innocence: Unmasking Latino Anti-Black Bias and the Struggle. Written by Afro-Latino Tanya Hernandez. Get this book. Because if y'all notice, it's generally only the white Latinos that say, hey, no, we don't have a racism issue. What are we talking about here? Hear that music? Y'all notice it's generally the white Latinos saying, hey, no problem over here. Okay, what do the dark Latinos have to say? I'm more apt to listen to a dark-skinned Latino talk to me about the racism in Latin America over a light-skinned one. Because the light-skinned ones have a particular privilege that they're oftentimes unwilling to acknowledge. And they're very imperialistic towards the darker-skinned Latinos. And they have a lot of anti-blackness within Latin America. Get this book right here, Racial Innocence: Unmasking Latino Anti-Black Bias by Tanya Hernandez. Get this book. See, we can have academia. We don't have to listen to lying tethers. Academia can back what we have to say. Academia will back this. Got pretty quiet there, Dr. Cologne. Got pretty quiet there, buddy. Not calling you a racist, but this is what your own community say about your people. I didn't say this. Let's see here. I'm from New York City and the Bronx at that. Were the Latinos living in the neighborhood? Were there Latinos living in the neighborhood? Yes. But at no time did Latinos participate, nor had anything to do with the creation of hip hop. So you get to see how much of a liar this cat is. And that's why I like that's part of the reason why, like, it's like, debate for what? Why would you debate somebody who's going to tell a lie as simple as Black Americans and Latino Americans all got along? Nobody from New York I know on the black side, outside of a crackhead every now and again, said that. So you get these people that come around and, like, they on one hand, they want to go around and say, hey, we are brothers, we're all black. But then when it comes time to talking about the story, they want to say, oh no, we're Latino, we're Jamaican. Hold on, I thought we were all black. I thought we were all black. What the fuck? It's like we're all black when they want to take our shit. That's why you have to join my Patreon, y'all. On my Patreon, you can be a part starting this Sunday, where I go into a real deep dive on the conspiracy to destroy black music. How did black music even get to a point to where these people see? Hip hop is our least evolved form of music, and y'all still ain't got no goddamn Puerto Rican music producers. Name the class of. I don't mean a one-off. I mean, give me 10 Puerto Rican producers. 10, not just one. Give me 10 that have you. Now you can give me you. Can you find one Puerto Rican producer that innovated a new sound? Like, even when you listen to some of the most, do y'all know, like, some of the most popular, one of the most popular Latin hip hop songs? Y'all ever heard them? Let me see here. Let me see here. Albums. Here we go. Going back to talking about like Latin music. Let me see here. Let me see here. There we go. Y'all remember that song? Let me see here. Where is it at? I'm looking for the song. Let me see here. Here we go. It's like, here, I got this found. Here we go. I found it on Spotify. This found it on Spotify. Y'all know how they are, like, whenever you hear like Latin music, like whenever they try to play like a Latin version of hip hop song, y'all ever notice they play the song right here? Y'all heard that? Have you ever heard that song? Mind you, we're on Amazon. I said Amazon. We're on YouTube, so I can't play the full version of anything. But y'all remember that?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? I remember a lot of Latinos were getting into that song. Do y'all remember that song? Y'all remember that song? Let me play it again. the hip hop song with the most Latin flavor was done by Herbie Hancock, a black American. The same Herbie Hancock that created Rocket 30 years after this. The song that legitimized hip hop in the eyes of traditional American listeners. So even when it comes to their biggest songs, the songs that they'll put their little roll their R's to, it's still a sample of our shit. You dig? I'm noticing people in here saying that we don't have to blanket a whole race. Look, if you feel victimized off what I'm saying, then you got to own that. Because I have a whole lot of Puerto Rican, Latino, Jamaican, African, British, white people who listen to me, and they don't feel two shits about a damn thing that I'm saying. Why? Because they don't have that mindset. The ones who think like that don't have that mindset. If you're feeling guilty, then you got to look in the mirror and ask yourself why. Hip hop elements and the origins of the story. You sit and tell me why you don't acknowledge Tito Puente in Black Americans when it comes to Latin. You sit and give us an answer to that. Somebody said, are there no issues between light and dark FBA? Nope, there aren't. Our issues are superficial. We talk shit. Our issues are, look at that old light-skinned motherfucker right there that can't stand in the sunshine for more than 2 minutes without turning red-ass nigga. And their joke back is, look at that darker than midnight-ass nigga looking like two closed eyelids. Yep, we gonna talk some shit, but guess what? Black Americans don't deny other Black Americans based on skin tone. Go to Puerto Rico, and the difference between somebody being a teacher and a janitor is the color of their skin. We don't do that. So no, do not conflate our issues with yours. Our issues are centered around shit talk. Your issues come down to dollars and cents, not ours. Not ours. Our issues don't come down to dollars and cents. Our issues are superficial games. Learn the difference, son. And that's the thing. These people come to America, they don't respect Black people. They don't come in and they learn our culture. Now they learn white folks. But when it comes to our culture, they think our culture is some shit that was thrown together. And they can come around with their old fucking Kid Ray mullets and be a part of it. That's right. We have light skin, dark skin jokes. Our shit stops at jokes. That's it. We don't actually go to people and be like, oh, you can't get a promotion because your skin too dark. Y'all do that shit in Puerto Rico. Your promotion isn't your skin tone ain't light enough for this job. We don't do that. We say, look at that old light-skinned ass nigga. He probably soft. But hey, come do this job anyway. And then we find out the light-skinned nigga ain't soft. We be cool with, be like, hey. But there was a conspiracy to destroy Black music. And that conspiracy that destroyed Black music is what opened the door for hip hop to get pushed to the front. hip hop was not a music that, like, funk got accepted immediately. Disco got accepted immediately. It took about a decade. It took a little over a decade and a half, probably 2 decades, decade and a half, for hip hop to be all accepted. Why? Because it just didn't have the complexity that of all of our other music. It just didn't have it. The tone had to be dumbed down. They had to pull back the sophistication from our music. And it took a new generation to embrace hip hop on a full scale level, specifically because of this conspiracy to destroy black music. Dr. Clone, I recommend that you join my Patreon. This is what you can do, Dr. Clone, for a history lesson for you right here. Let me give you something you can do to learn. Because in the annals of history, you're going to look like a fucking idiot telling this stuff. Because the rest of the world knows that they pay attention to black Americans, not Puerto Ricans. You can lie to yourself all day. But those kids in China, those kids in Japan, Korea, India, South America, Canada, England, Germany, France, Russia, they know who they're looking at, and it ain't you. So you look like a fucking fool, first off, by doing that. Because the kids that copy our culture, they not looking your way. So what you can do is, if you really want to know something, you can come on over here to the live interview lounge. And on the live interview lounge, we will be doing the whole series. And I'm gonna be doing more. I'm gonna be doing these about twice a month. All right, 2 to 3 times a month. How they destroyed black music. So this is gonna be a whole series. You can be a part of the whole series right now on Patreon. That's all you got to do. And up right now, I got my my Patreon exclusive music history up there. I got the old conspiracy to destroy black music part 1. Well, no, not that one here. Where is it? History. I got the history people out. Where is that one I want to show you? The decline of R&B. Join the Patreon now so you can listen to this one right here that I did on this decline of R&B, and it's gonna get you ready for this coming Sunday. How hip hop replaced R&B. All this stuff is gonna get you ready for Sunday. All right. So go right now to patreon.com/DeJuanB. Link is in the description. It's also here in the chat room. And learn you some history. Learn you some history. A lot of y'all been saying y'all want me to really break this stuff down. Where want to hear it? Here it go. But you got to get behind that paywall because they would not allow me to talk a lot of this shit on YouTube. I went as far as I can go on YouTube, put it like that. And my channel paid for it. So yeah, we can't do those on YouTube. And if you are a member on YouTube, I ain't quite figured out how to work getting you in. So I'm doing this on Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So it's 2 o'clock Eastern time. If you want to be a part of it and you're a member here on this channel, email me so I can just email you the link. I'm not sure. I'll see. I'm just now learning this membership thing. If I can get it directly to my members, I'm gonna get it to you guys. But if not, I'm gonna email me. If you want to be, because if you're a member on this channel, you're going to get the active version anyway. But if you want to be part of the live one, you're a member and you're not on the Patreon, but you're a member of this channel, email me. All right. You did? Because even when let's go into these things that they claim is theirs. Okay. You say breakdancing. Okay. We've already proven that Crazy Legs said it himself. he picked up an old dance. But it's literally a dance that you're not going to see anybody do at a hip hop concert. I've been to a few. You're not going to see it. You can take breakdancing away from hip hop, and hip hop is still fine. Why? Because hip hop has 1,000 other dances it created. That's why. And it has an infinite amount of dances it's going to continue to create moving forward. You're insignificant. Listen, we created Fat Joe, irrelevant. Big Pun, irrelevant. Rosie Perez, irrelevant. Jennifer Lopez, irrelevant. They're all replaceable actors. Matter of fact, Jennifer Lopez, she had Ashanti finally won some royalties because that was Ashanti's voice. If I could be your girl, that was Ashanti's voice that Jennifer Lopez's voice was layered on top of. Jennifer Lopez wasn't even a singer on her own goddamn song. Those songs was gonna be hits regardless. Matter of fact, bigger hit if someone with a real voice actually sung the fucking song. If there's no Rosie Perez, fine. You know how many other pretty ass Puerto Ricans and black women they could have found? Didn't even need Rosie Perez. I mean, it's like in the late '80s, early '90s, and still a lot in other parts of this country. Niggas, especially in their 20s, be on some I need an exotic chick kind of shit. And Rosie Perez was fine. You know, it was dope having her in White Men Can't Jump. But if she wasn't there, you know how many fine sisters could have took her place and we wouldn't not have given a fuck? Same thing with Do the Right Thing. We wouldn't have gave a fuck. As a matter of fact, Do the Right Thing illustrated the racial differences in New York City by Spike Lee. That's what makes y'all so insignificant. And then it's like, y'all like y'all special. I know white people got to be sitting back laughing their ass. Like, we got these Latinos so screwed up that first off, they're using a name we gave them, Latino, when Puerto Ricans and Mexicans don't even get along. They don't even get along with Dominicans. And like, first off, we dealing with groups of people who don't even get along with each other. And we fucked all of them up as white folks. So we gave them a name. And they're identifying with a common name that we gave them. First off, let's laugh at that. Second of all, they've been so colonized by the Spanish and then the British that they don't know where the fuck their own shit lies. Like, they gotta be laughing at y'all. You can't name a Latino that's done anything and brought anything to the culture. And the fact that y'all think y'all deserve a special badge for like doing a good song here and there, like, welcome to the party. Everybody makes good music within black music. Look. Look, at the end of the day, we make our music to our taste, and then somebody from another culture comes along, whether it's Bruno Mars or the Beatles or the Rolling Stones or Aerosmith or Fat Joe or Big Pun. They come around and they do a song or two that is black, but the flavor is changed enough for you guys like you guys' tasting. Everybody does, it happens in jazz, it happens in R&B, it happens in disco and house. Like, you're nothing special, is what I'm trying to say. We make music and then people come and take pictures while we're having a party. Joe Conzo, okay, great. You're doing what everybody else has done of all of the races. Let's go where the Negroes are having a good time and put a camera up. That's like a guaranteed way to make money. Just go do it. That's like an old school way to make money, especially if you're not Black Americans. Go down there where the Black people are having a good time and pull out a camera, and you will make money off us minding our own fucking business. Hit the cash outside the Juan Brown if you're filming preaching. Hit the Cash app. And get ready for Sunday. We're really about to break down the conspiracy to destroy Black music starting Sunday in my long series. Man, I hope Tariq sue that dude Joe Conzo. Tasha K style, nigga. Right. Imagine taking pictures of Martin Luther King and claiming you helped get civil rights for Black people based on some pictures. Right. And I got another thing to Joe Conzo. That takes me around to another point. And if y'all want to call in, get ready. 323-744-7425. Keep your comments brief. I got another thing for Joe Conzo. Okay, you hip hop. Cool. What have you done to give back to hip hop? How many scholarships have you given in your name to the Black creators of hip hop? How many times have you stood with Black Americans for reparations and the things, since you were at the party taking photos, that's so significant? What have you done to put money in the pockets of the people you got photos off of? See, people in hip hop, Joe Conzo needs to be a no-fly zone. If you're a Black rapper, you should never interview this guy. You see what he's doing. You see this conquistador mindset that he has. If you're a Black rapper and you interact and mingle with this guy, I got some questions. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Sam from Seattle.
Sam from Seattle. What's on your mind?
You know what? I just wanted to know what version of that I Call Your Name you got playing in the background. I need that.
Oh, that's my own private mix, my brother. You ain't gonna get it. Ha!
Oh, that's something you did? Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
I just want to know if it was commercially available.
And nah, it's not commercial, my brother. That's a mix that's for here at this channel, my brother.
Okay, well, I dig it. I like it.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, man. You have a good one.
All right.
Oh, yeah. My music is exclusive, mate. Except for certain things. Well, this isn't exclusive. Because I do got something I do want to say to Joe Conzo and everybody trying to claim our history. The hip-hop conquistadors. Y'all a bunch of hoes. I want to say don't be a hoe. But you already acting like a hoe. And you been acting like a hoe. And based on your IG, you've been acting like a hoe far longer than I've known who the fuck you were. So my message to y'all is, man, just love yourself, love your history, love who you are. Don't be hoes, Joe Conzo and the hip hop historian guy. Don't do that. It's unbecoming of you. The rest of the world knows where they get the sauce from. They looking at you like you a clown, a sideshow, a weirdo. Because ain't nobody going to Puerto Rico for culture. Ain't nobody just going to, matter of fact, ain't nobody going to New York for culture now, not in the last, 20 years? New York ain't been a hotbed of culture since the 90s and the 2000s. Why? Because all the black people from New York now live in Atlanta. You notice Atlanta's where the culture's at now. The culture be moving to where we move, not where you move. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What up, Dewan? It's Big E again.
Big E, what's on your mind,
Bro,
my brother?
I think a lot of this come from, bro, because a lot of these tethers seem to be under the impression like that we actually needed them, and we've been fighting these fights long before they migrated or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
We never needed them for music. It's like it's a shock to them. We never needed you. You didn't fight for our civil rights. We fought for yours. I noticed people in there, they said J-Lo. Well, if it wasn't for Keenan Ivory Wayans, we'd have never knew who J-Lo was. If it wasn't for Spike Lee, we'd have never knew who Rosie Perez was. If it wasn't for Russell Simmons, we'd have never knew who Kamora Lee Simmons and people like that is. These tethers come and get up under us. And then once they get on, they give us the finger. Ain't no tether ever came over here and was successful on their own. They had
and to add on top of that, let's add on top of that, Fat Joe, the reason why he's had an extended career is because he's managed by who? Rockefeller, Jay-Z, and his police-ass organization. Rockefeller's the one that manages Fat Joe to go out there and tell these lies.
And you still needed Irv Gotti in them, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot, Irv Gotti, Ashanti, a lot of them did a lot of projects for him too.
Right.
So, just Fat Joe on his own, bro, you wouldn't have got on if it wasn't for none of us. So what it seems like to me, whether it was civil rights, whether it was any kind of music, anything, they act like we needed them and we never did. How did we need you when we fought for you to come over here? If we had said, you know what, we only fighting for our own civil rights, all of y'all would still be fighting to come over here.
Mm-hmm.
So we already had things in place while you were fighting to get over here. We were already making music, so we didn't need you to make music. I mean, we were so innovative even as slaves. They gave us the bottom of the barrel of the food, and now with chitlins, you can walk into stores and buy buckets of chitlins now because we turned, well, not me, I don't eat them, but I'm saying we turned that into a delicacy. So what I'm saying, everything we do, somebody copies it, and they know it. So we never needed y'all, and it's almost like it's a shock to them. Like it's a shock to their system. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I wanted to say, Dewan. You know what I'm saying? Good luck for letting me rock out, bro. Till next time.
Yes, sir. Till next time. You're right about that. He made a good point. The brother made a good point. They get surprised when we be like, we didn't need you. Like, you cool, but I appreciate Omar Butler. Appreciate that. $1.99 on a super chat. Much love and appreciation for that. And y'all can hit that Cash App. Hit that Cash App, $ Dewan Brown. Hit that Cash App. But yeah, it's like, here's the reason why I think part of it is. I think part of the reason why they get surprised. Oh shit, hold on. Call right back. I didn't answer. I hit the call right back. Call right back. Call right back. Oh, Omar, you got the super chat twice. You hit me with two 200s. Much appreciated, my brother. Much appreciated. That will definitely come through. Tell the truth, shame the devil, goddammit. Let's go. Much appreciated, Omar Butler. All right, and I see here, we got RBG Boxing. They're trying to make a non-Black American coalition where everyone gets credit for hip-hop, including whites, while erasing us as much as they can. That's a good point. That's a great point. It's a great point. Oh, we read that already. That's a great point, though, RBG Boxing. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from? Hey, Carter, that time I picked up. I don't know what's wrong with your phone. I picked up that time, caller. Get in a better place and then call back. But I think get in a better place and call back. I picked up that time. I think I got my mouse over the answer button, caller, so call back. But I think that's what it is. Here we go. Okay, I answered. Caller, you there? You there, caller?
Hey, this is Todd. Hello.
There we go. You got through this time. What's up, caller? What's the name where you calling from?
Hey, this is Ty down in Florida. What's going on, man?
Ty in Florida.
I got a little. Dr. Cologne. I'd like to ask him the question: what have Puerto Ricans created since?
That's a great question, because what have Puerto Ricans created after b-boying, after graffiti? What else do they do with hip hop?
They use that auto-tune because they can't sing. They got no talent. That's the biggest thing now. They all on that auto-tune tip. All of them, man. Doing that reggaeton. They got that from the Jamaicans. So they copycats. You know, they biters, you know. They got no real talent. So they got to use hang on our coattails.
Auto-tune done gave careers to a lot of people, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for giving us a call.
Yes. Thank you, brother.
But again, T-Pain started the auto-tune shit. Well, he didn't start it, but he really turned it into an instrument. He didn't start it, but he did. He is the one that really turned it into the sound that everyone likes to use today. But T-Pain can actually sing. The rest of these motherfuckers can't. Hip-hop colonizers. That's what they are. Hip-hop colonizers. Because they really see that we're not tripping off. Oh, here's what I'm gonna say. This is the point I was gonna make. This is where they got messed up. And I blame a lot of black men for this, a lot of black women for this when it comes to bedroom activities. A lot of black men are people that will do anything, flip off the edge of the earth for interracial sex. Puerto Rican women. Y'all a lot of you niggas like any woman that's not black that you can find. And when you find them and she giving you Puerto Rican head, now all of a sudden you making them, you pumping her head up. Same thing with a lot of y'all ladies. Y'all want a slick haired kid and y'all pumping them dudes' heads up. Now 2-3 generations later, they coming in really thinking that they really did something when really that was just your other head talking. That's what they don't get. When a lot of fellas were saying these things to these ladies back in the 90s, they was talking with their dick head, not their real head. And I guess over the last 30, 40 years, y'all thought that niggas really meant it. Now you're hearing from the rest of us that ain't trying to get in your pants that you're not that significant. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Duan? This is Eitan calling from Toronto.
Oh shit! I got Eitan Edwards, a junior black spade. Was it junior black spade?
Baby spade.
A baby spade, an original baby spade from New York. Thanks for giving us a call.
Hey man, I've been listening and watching the show, and I'm glad that you're doing this to preserve black music. I just wanted to pop in for a second to speak from my perspective.
You can go as long as you want, Eitan.
Most of these things. The only thing I missed out on was the big Ho Avenue Summit, where all of this stuff was hashed out with the Spades and some of the different groups. But being there from the beginning and watching this all, and I wanted to tell you that, it's true that there was always this thing. The music is our music. It's unquestionably hip hop, or what rap is part of, is an expression of black culture.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yes, there was, you could say, somebody knows me on your show. One of the things that I
y'all better know. One second, Eitan, one second, real quick. I want to let them know who you are.
That the Puerto Rican
this is Eitan Edwards
into hip hop.
He don't hear me.
Came into it kind of like segueing as the ones who used to hang out with us. And yes, like what you had said earlier in the program, there was a barrier, as we know that there was, Latin America is a pigmentocracy, as you had Dr. Hernandez's book up there, and that's something that they don't like to speak about, but it is true. You're told from the beginning, from when you're younger, if you're a like white presenting mestizo or a white Latino, you're told mejorar la raza, advance the race, stay away from the black and the brown. And that's what we grew up with. I had a Puerto Rican friend. His grandmother was as racist as George Wallace, and used to talk about why, in Spanish, talk about you bringing all these monkeys around here all the time. Go hang out with other kids. But what I wanted to tell you was, I think that a lot of the SBAs that are getting upset over the encroachment of, let's say, Latinos within the context of the space, it's brought on by a lot of us because we let everybody in our culture. We let everybody claim our stuff. So yeah, it's true. I mean, I'm sitting up here with Kendall, and I'm saying, when the Puerto Ricans would come to the parties, you'd say, okay, here comes some Puerto Ricans. They're coming in, and they would come in and they would do their dancing, and these were the ones who used to hang out with us, who didn't have any problems with us. But I remember looking at the one guy who said that there was no problems. The brother that you said there were no problems with the Puerto Ricans and black folks didn't have problems. There were problems. I know in the baby space, it's like there were the most of the javelins. Listen, man, I got jumped by a bunch of baby javelins back in the day because I didn't carry a green leaf in my pocket, and that became an awful story in my life. And so we know what the reality is. But I just think that black Americans need to stop putting everybody under the big tent.
A-Time, real quick. A-Time.
Can't expect it.
Hey, A-Time, hold on. Hey, hold on real quick, A-Time. Hold on real quick. Hold on. A-Time has an ear. A-Time has an ear issue. Hold on. A-Time.
Knowing from personal experience what the real situation is.
Hey, A-Time.
It's different.
A-Time, real quick. Real quick, A-Time.
I'm trying to hear you. I can't even.
Can you hear me? Hold on.
I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me? I can tell some kind of. What about now? Can you hear me? What? Can you hear me now, A-Time?
I can't hear you.
What in the hell is going on?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Yeah, you're fine. I can't hear you. I mean, I can hear you, but you can't hear me. I want you. You were in this book, A-Time. A-Time's gonna call back. A-Time's gonna call back. A-Time Edwards is he's a baby's pay from New York, and he's in this book right here called Yes, Yes, Y'all, an oral history of hip hop's first decade. He's in this book by Nelson George. A-Time, call back. Let's see here. A-Time, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yeah,
there we go.
Hear you at all.
I figured you couldn't. Before you got going, I wanted to introduce who you really were to these people who don't know. And I know you're in this book, Yes, Yes, Y'all, an oral history of hip hop.
Yes.
You have flyers in this book. Do you know what page your flyers on?
Oh, I don't know. It's somewhere in the middle, but they gave me a 2-page spread of flyers.
Okay.
2 pages of them.
A-Time, there was a person on the phone, y'all. He was also one of the I wanted to make it very clear. He's also one of the flyer guys, somebody who made flyers for a lot of your hip hop parties back in the 70s and 80s. Person on the phone was one of the guys from New York making these flyers that you see. And you can find his flyers in this book right here called Yes, Yes, Y'all, Oral History of Hip Hop's First Decade. So Dr. Cologne, there go your source. Now I want you guys to make sure that you guys knew I wanted to make sure A-Time that they knew who they were listening to, that you're not just some random guy running his mouth. I wanted them to know who you were talking. Also, A-Time got some dope stuff that he's gonna pitch after he's done talking. But go back to what you were saying.
No, I was just saying that, there were the Puerto Ricans that hung with us, and that there were the ones that didn't. And a lot of the stuff that you hear got squashed after the whole Avenue meeting with the spades and, some of the things that had happened. There was a fusion of communities at that point, right? but but going back to with Conzo, Joe, and Ernie, who's like a real good friend that we go way back, and Joe and all of them, they were at the parties back in the day at the Fever and all of the different clubs that we used to go to when hip hop started to kind of like morph into more of a defined culture. But this was after it was b-boy stuff. Can you hear me still?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, this was because at first when it started out it was b-boy, and it's prototypical b-boy stuff. I mean, that was a whole different kind of a scene. And then as it came out of the b-boy era into kind of more of a cultural thing, like I used to roll with the 3 Yard Boys, and they go and hit the trains for the graffiti. And I wasn't a graffiti artist per se, but I used to hang out with the 3 Yard Boys, and that was basically hit number 3 trains. And it became, the culture started to evolve, and Puerto Ricans were very much involved in that space, in the culture, specifically in graffiti and in dance and all of that kinds of stuff, right? But generally speaking, there was always, initially when it first started, it was just black, and then there were Puerto Ricans that hung out, because some of us used to hang out together, and then it became kind of like Puerto Ricans and black folks. The Puerto Ricans coming to the parties, they would play their music, and then we'd have a little scene where there would be some Latino music played, some Puerto Rican music played in the middle of the parties. They would throw it up, But the thing, like with Conzo and Ernie, and Conzo was there. I mean, Conzo was there, so was Ernie at a lot of these parties at the Fever. And the thing is that they were. I mean, Conzo was a well-respected guy within, the parties, and Conzo used to hang out and just talk. And, he chronicled a lot of the stuff, and him and Ernie and a few other people who did it. But the thing that I just wanted to infuse into this conversation was the fact, though, that, this denial of this pigmentocracy that exists in Latin America, and black folks don't really understand. And you were on point about what you were saying about how we don't prevent our light-skinned people from doing certain things, but the pigmentocracy and the system, the casta system that existed in Latin America, it still exists in a de facto way today. And they don't want to recognize it. Like that dude that came on and said there was no friction between blacks and Puerto Ricans in the Bronx back then. Man, what you talking about? I was in the Bronx back then. Are you going to tell me that them javelins that were calling me nigger and all the rest of that stuff when they were jumping on me, where's your green leaf, nigger, that wasn't real? Oh, please. Come on. So this is what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And why we had to fight. There was, and then you had, the great thing is that the young lords who saw through the divisions created by this pigmentocracy, by this colonial attitude that a lot of Puerto Ricans had, where there was a hierarchy of race that still exists today, that you see it, like you said, in Univision, in Telemundo. When you look at those networks and you see what they have on those television stations and their novelas, in everything, what do you see? It looks like Italian television.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why Dylan Roof, the white kid that went and shot up the church in South Carolina, what did Dylan Roof say? Dylan Roof said he likes to watch Latino television because they appreciate European beauty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't see any black people, you don't see any, because really, what are we talking about? They call themselves Latino, right? Because Latino is dominant because of the Spanish Empire has completely wiped out their true identity of the Taíno, the Arawak, and all of the different groups that they were before the Spaniards came. These are Native American people that actually they call themselves their oppressor. They actually are taking on the identity and the culture, the religion, and the system of the oppressor that literally took their ancestors, burned them alive, fed them to their dogs as dog food, piled their skulls up on a beach, and they burned their bodies with the smoke burned so thick that they couldn't even see the sun in the place that we call Puerto Rico, which is now Borinquen, right? That's the reality. See?
For real?
And if they were killing so many of the Taínos that they would burn their bodies and the smoke covered the sky. Right, the smoke, and if you want to learn about it, you learn the brief history of the Indies. Bartolomé de las Casas, who wrote this book and chronicled what the Spaniards did when they came to these Americas. And so they're only referred to as Latino. It came in the that was something that was created in the 1940s. It is just a title to indicate people who live in, south of the border in Latin America and Central America. It's not a race. So we got to remember that they were importing Europeans from Europe to come into Latin America so that you could destroy the black presence and also the native presence. And a lot of that colonial attitude has been ingrained in them. And then they take that colonial attitude and project it towards us. So this is what I'm saying. It's like, let's get to the nitty gritty of it. And the ones who break through that are the ones we have to commend, the ones who recognize themselves as Boricua and Borencan, that come from the island Borencan, and they hold on to their identity, their heritage, the truth about who they really are. They are not Spaniards. They are Native Americans. There's a whole movement out in Los Angeles because we are not Latino. It's a racist tag that is used by white-leaning mestizos and white Latinos, basically, that fall under this huge umbrella, trying to eliminate races, trying to eliminate people's cultures, trying to eliminate black people within the spectrum. I mean, it goes so damn deep. So they're part of that. But we as black people, we need to stop letting people come under our tent and taking our step. That's all I'm saying. And what you're doing is 100% correct. The only thing that I would disagree is that Joe Conzo and Ernie and the rest of them, that they did chronicle this movement. They were there and they were an integral part of that movement. I mean, I remember him being at the Fever. I remember them at the clubs. And Ernie's been a friend for many, many years. I mean, Ernie and I are like very, very tight. And Ernie would come on the show and he would say the same thing. You should, in fact, give you to introduce you to let Ernie, you can talk to Ernie from his perspective, and he'll tell you, because Ernie, let me tell you something, in terms of being on the black hand side of things, Ernie is the man. Ernie will say stuff that you would be shocked by, and, just to representing though. But for those of us who were there, right? If somebody says Conzo didn't say he showed up until 78 or 79. Yeah, but that's when it started to kind of morph into a system. So it's really just a matter of where we stand as a people, like what you're doing in your documentary for black music, recognizing that it is our music, but other people came and experienced our culture. And then Puerto Ricans who came into hip hop and contributed to it, contributed to the flavor, contributed to the culture, contributed to the spirit, but they didn't make it. It's all black up and down, just like you said. And somebody saying, nah, Puerto Ricans are Spanish. Puerto Ricans are not Spanish. You have to come from Spain to be Spanish.
Right.
Puerto Ricans,
we're not English.
This guy said, yeah, they're not Spanish.
They're not Spanish.
They're basically, but why are we calling them Spanish? People need to look into read the Spanish requirement of what our native indigenous brothers and sisters from Borencan, from Hispaniola, what we call Hispaniola, from what they call the Dominican Republic, what they suffered through, the horrors that they suffered through. Nobody wants to talk about that. They don't want to talk about it. That's why they label us the way they label us, We grew up getting called cocolas and all the rest of the stuff that they used to call black people, and they were black themselves. So, I'm just saying, man, somebody said they're mixed. Exactly. They are mulatto. No, mulattoes is not a good term. But I'm just saying, Duan, there was friction between Puerto Ricans and black people, number one. Puerto Ricans did come into hip hop and contribute, number two. But hip hop, in terms of what it is an expression of black American culture. I'm with you 1,000% on that and support it 1,000%.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And now you're getting it from somebody who was there. For everybody who says that. So, man, Eitan, I appreciate that.
Yep.
Thanks for giving us a call. Oh, Eitan.
Yes.
How can they find you?
Oh, if you want to find me, you can contact me on www.afroprep.now.com, or you can check us out at the readyforanything.org at the International Preparedness Network, and you can send me an email.
Yeah, go to Eitan there with Afro Prep. Look him up. He's on IG.
Kendall's telling me on Instagram, because Hey, I'm old now, y'all. I just want to just let them know. I'm old, all right?
Use a
So
begin, of course. Let's see. What's your IG? It's
IG is the real Aton Edwards at Instagram. Oh, I don't know what it is.
I got it.
Like,
I got it. The real Aton
I
Edwards.
don't know these Instagram terms. She says, Kendall's telling me, you have to ask, what do I say, Kendall? She says, I'm decrepit.
On IG, at the real Aton.
At the real Aton Edwards. So I'm supposed to say at the real Aton Edwards. I don't use Instagram. That's it. I ain't gonna say nothing more. Now you hear her going off on me.
Y'all follow Aton, because Aton is also a best-selling author of this book, Preparedness Now. He has another book that's coming out pretty soon. So when it comes to he started in hip hop. He's deeply involved in government, and he knows what's going on behind the scenes. He's this book that he has here, but he also teaches regular classes on how to prepare yourself for when things go down. And he has an email that he sends out, a regular emailer out. So for those of you who are into preparedness and prep, and one who specifically focuses on Black people, because the only reason why his book isn't out now is because the publishers don't want. I'm probably telling too much information. But the publishers don't want his books to be so Black. But he has information for your Black ass. So you have to follow what he's doing. Because anytime we're under, like, the country's under a threat. We see what's going on with Biden. But there are certain specific issues that are going to hit us first before they hit other people. And you do a great job of breaking that down. So I need my followers to follow Aton Edwards right now on Instagram. That's what he's going to announce when he has his next classes. And that's how you're gonna follow him. You're gonna follow him, and it's very cheap. He don't even charge that much for his classes, for his membership. So do that. It's more than worth it because he's giving us a true value in what he does. So thanks again for calling in.
We need to know. We need to know, Dwan, it's out there. It's a very hostile environment, hostile world, and things are going to get very, very rough towards the end of this year. And Black folks really, really don't understand just how serious the situation is. Like these white supremacists and these different groups and all these different organizations that are growing and building and doing things that we're just not doing. So we got to prepare. But so I appreciate the mention for sure.
No problem, Antoine. Thanks for giving us a call.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
All right. So there you have it from somebody who was there. A real life New Yorker. Yep, Joe Conzo, you did take some pictures. Well, I got pictures here in LA in the late 70s, early 80s of the hip hop scene here. They got them in Oakland, got them in Philly, Houston, Newark, and everywhere else Black people live. You see that? That was Aton Edwards. So y'all follow the real Aton Edwards right now, all right? Y'all follow him right now. Right now. But yeah, Aton is actually documented. I couldn't find which flyer was his, but this is book right here. It's called Yes, Yes, Y'all, the oral history of the first decade of hip hop. Aton was actually somebody who used to create flyers, and Africa Bambaataa used to actually be, because he's older than Africa, when he was younger, before everybody knew he was a fucking weirdo. Used to be one of the ones that used to pass out Aton's flyers. So when you see Aton, when you see Africa Bambaataa, you hear me talking, nigga. They couldn't wait so they can hang up. Anyway. So when you see a lot of those, when you see some of the stuff about, when you hear stories about Africa Bambaataa passing out flyers, he was actually passing out, when he was younger, some of the flyers that was written by the person who just got off the call. All right? What's up, Carl? What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is MDT Sports, the same guy. I was watching this movie. You should watch this movie. It's actually free on Tubi. It's called Aaron Loves Angela, and it tells you like all about like how New York was. Like it was like blacks was not messing with Puerto Ricans. Puerto Rican wasn't messing with black, and he was actually dating the Puerto Rican girl, but he couldn't go to that street or he'll get beat up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was crazy. And yeah, like back in the 70s, they right, like the blacks was right. They wasn't not Puerto Ricans wasn't around. They was not around.
No, they weren't. Two separate cultures, man. What's the name of the movie again?
It's called Aaron Loves Angela. It's on Tubi. It's free. Y'all should check that out.
Thanks for that, man.
All about how New York was back in those days.
Oh, yeah, from 1975. Okay, I see it right here.
1975, yeah.
Oh, okay. So this movie right here gets in. This is actually a period piece because it's from that actual time. Okay,
yeah,
I got it up here, so if y'all see it, thanks for that, caller.
Oh, no problem.
Yes, sir. Here's the movie right here. I just found it right here. Aaron Loves Angela. It's right here on IMDb. Okay. See, this is how you research history when you get things that document the things at the time it happened. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. Talking about that. Okay. Here it is. All right, Carl, what's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, brother, it's Brother Herc, man. Hey, man, that was some powerful truth that brother was spitting, man.
He gonna be in my documentary.
That's that goddamn it. Like Corey Holcomb said.
Yeah.
That's that goddamn it.
Yeah. That's
serious.
A-Time's one of my secret weapons in my documentary when I get to that part. So
Right. Oh man, I'm driving. I just got off the 10 and I was hearing that brother spit, and I was like, man, I stood up in my seat while I was driving. I mean, he's so thorough with the history. I mean, I've never, I knew what Mejora de la Raza meant, but I knew it had to do something with race mixing and all that stuff. But I mean, that was very thorough and well defined, as to what that brother was talking about. Man, that's some serious stuff.
Real serious stuff, man. A-Time's a deep dude.
I see. Oh man, he's well knowledgeable, endowed with the knowledge, and I mean, man, that's serious, brother. And I mean, all the points. I mean, he was hitting on all cylinders, all the points, and it was refreshing a lot of my personal experience, with the Latino community and stuff like that. He was on point on all that, man. So I just wanted to call in and give the brother, his props and big up him, because that was well needed,
Yes, sir. Man, thanks for giving us a call. That's some real talk. Thanks for giving us a call.
Peace.
Yes, sir. I just saw a funny comment in the chat. Somebody said Jamaican funk started hip hop. First off, don't ever trust somebody that puts an LOL. Well, that's this finger on the keyboard. Yeah, that's this finger. The LOL, the LOL finger. Don't. This motherfucker said Jamaican funk. First of all, there's no such thing as Jamaican funk. And what you're referring to is a song by Tom Brown, foundational Black American Tom Brown. And he made a song called Jamaica Funk. Jamaica Funk is a song, hold on, caller, 1 second. Jamaica Funk is a song that right here was created. Let me show you how. This is Jamaica Funk, Funkin' for Jamaica. That song is talking about Jamaica Queens, okay? Not about Jamaica. It was written by Tom Brown, and it's one of the funkiest motherfucking songs ever. Let's break it down. Oh no, y'all can hear. Y'all can hear. Here you go. This song they're referring to. That's Jamaica Funk, but that's not Jamaican. It's about Jamaica Queens. I love that song, Jamaica Funk. And my second favorite song on the album, well, actually my favorite song on the album is Thighs High. I love Jamaica Funk, but my personal favorite between the two is Thighs High. Yeah. Thighs high to the sky. What y'all know about that, nigga? That's hip hop. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, what's up, Dewan B? This your boy Breeze Omega. I'm calling out of Virginia.
Breeze Omega from
What's
Virginia.
good,
What's on your
family?
mind, my brother?
Yo, shit, I just wanted to say, as somebody who grew up in New York in the '90s,
yes, you did.
We didn't rock with Puerto Ricans then. We couldn't go in their houses. Most Jamaicans were all house poor. This is the '90s. This is right now. I graduated in '96, so this is going on at that time, and we're not hanging out with them. They mama's still not letting them rock with us.
Right.
My man Big Ron and Keith, they used to DJ all the Jamaican parties on Long Island. There was no Jamaican DJs, not even in the 90s.
Wow.
Not on Long Island. Not on Long Island. Everybody was still black. It was still black people doing all the DJing.
Right.
You know, my homegirl, she used to go out with Pasta Nudes from De La Soul. So like all these people was around us. You know, Prodigy from Mobb Deep, he grew up in my neighborhood. I grew up around A+. That's me and him used to battle by the garbage can. There were no Puerto Ricans or any of these people around. That's all I wanted to say as somebody from New York who was in Long Island, who was in Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, all of that out there at that time.
Real talk. See, that's why I like getting it from the brothers who are there, because the other people, the colonizer mindset people, they'll come and say, oh, everything was fine, knowing that all your cousins been nothing but hell on every black person that they've seen. Hell, halftime you. And they want to go around and act like everything is cool. I got to hear from the black people who was there. And the black people said it wasn't cool.
I think my man Abelardo, he was the one Puerto Rican that was down with us, and that was because his mama was black. His mama was very dark. So she liked all of us, so they would let us in the backyard. But like I said, that was one Puerto Rican. It was never like 100, and we can't attribute just one individual as the group. And I'm going to land my plane right there. Appreciate you, good brother.
Yes, sir, my brother. Yes, sir. Thanks for giving us a call. That's Breeze Omega, motherfucker from goddamn New York. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Dr. Cologne.
What's up, Dr. Cologne? Talk to me.
What's up, man? Well, let's talk about what the real issue is, man. It ain't nothing about what you're talking about. I thought the show was about why Joe Conzo did what he did.
The issue is whatever I say it is on my show, but.
Okay, all right. I understand that. I'm just following what you said. So, what's the real issue, bro? The real issue is Tariq used intellectual properties that did not belong to him. That's illegal. That's copyright infringement. You would do the same thing if somebody stole your work. And then he said, no, I didn't steal it. No, yes, you did. I have the movie. I saw the pictures. I have his book. I saw those pictures. He did steal it, and he took other people's intellectual property.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that. He stole it. Okay, let's say Tariq stole everything, and Joe Conzo has the right to take the movie down. Okay, what does that have to do with Latinos and Puerto Ricans creating hip hop?
Brother, your show was about what Joe Conzo did.
No, my show. We've been talking about the whole show. We've been talking about one thing. You've been in the chat room. You know what we're talking about. One thing we're not gonna do, my brother, is play stupid. We've been in the chat room. You're not gonna. No. I'm an expert. You're not gonna change the subject. I'm
addressing what Joe Conzo did.
Okay, and I started the show addressing that. So now I started the show. I don't know if you did at the beginning, but in the beginning I said that. When we first started, in the first 2 minutes. In the first 2 minutes, I came in saying that, okay, this is over a picture that was, and I even read the copy. I even read the full thing that Joe Conzo wrote. I was very fair to Joe Conzo and wrote that. Okay, it's been established. Tariq used an illegal picture, and they'll fight that out on court. Cool.
Yeah, but you weren't fair, bro.
The subject of the matter is hip hop colonizers. The subject is people who come into our culture and they try to colonize our culture, And when they can't do it, they try to draw up on little small, insignificant technicalities to shoehorn themselves in. That's what we've been talking about all show. You've been here long enough to know we're talking about that. So let's stick to that.
Well, let's stick to this. Is it okay?
No. We're going to stick to what I say we're going to stick to, or you're going to get off the phone. No. You don't ask the questions. You do not ask the questions. I ask the questions. You're on mute. You don't ask the questions. I do.
There's no question to be asked here, bro.
Yes, no, there is. I ask the questions. If you call into my if you call into my show, you're going to answer my questions or you're going to get off the phone. It's that simple. The show is about hip-hop conquistadors. You see the thumbnail. About how people from Puerto Rican descent come to our culture and they try to claim 50-50 ownership of something they can show no actual proof they had any hand in creating, any hand whatsoever. That's the topic. And because they can't do it, they drop on a technicality, which I'm sure Tariq is going to fight out in court, and try to make that the subject. That's called a red herring.
No, what you're doing is a straw man argument and ad hominem arguments. That's what you're doing.
No, that's not. A straw man argument is a straw man.
The problem. He's not the problem. There's a bigger problem.
No, the straw man argument is the distorted, weaker version of another person's argument that can't be refuted. I'm not creating a straw man argument. I'm not trying to refute anything. I'm proving. I'm not refuting nothing. I'm showing and proving. I'm being proactive in proving. This is a proactive argument. Proving the Black American history and cultures. That's why every time I talk about this subject, I talk about it from a larger context to prove the overall 360-degree totality creation of Black American history.
I'm looking at your thumbnail right now. Hip-hop,
it's on the screen.
Puerto Rican Sabotage, Joe Conzo.
The thumbnail's on the screen. Hip-hop conquistadors is the thumbnail.
Joe Conzo, this is what you said, bro. It's right here. Joe Conzo gets Tariq Nasheed's microphone check taken off Amazon. The question is, why? What would give him the right to take people's property,
We answered the question, brother. You're not look. No. This is what makes you so. This is right here. I answered the call because I wanted to see if you had something. We already answered that. We read it. We read the why. I literally go back to 10 minutes into the show.
I understand that, but then
okay, now that you understand that, stop. Don't play stupid with me. Don't play stupid with me. Now that you understand that, if you quote unquote understand it,
you name calling.
I said don't play stupid. I said don't play stupid. That's not name calling.
No.
I said don't play stupid.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Joe. You got on here. You called him a punk. What is that about, bro?
Let me tell you why. Because let me tell you what it is. Unfortunately for you, you don't understand Black American culture. And part of Black American culture is throwing out jabs and zingers and shit talk. You coming into my culture, and if you're going to come into my culture, you're going to receive a full baptizing of my culture. You're not just going to get the good part to where you can get in and get out.
Funny,
if you're going to come over here, you're going to get these jabs too. If you don't like it, don't get in the culture. I'm not talking about Melissa Etheridge right now. I ain't talking about Melissa Etheridge. I ain't talking about Daddy Yankee. I ain't talking shit about none of them people. I'm talking about people who came to our culture. So if you're going to come to it, you're going to get 100% baptism.
Let's get back to Joe Conzo. Let's get back to
let's get back to the Joe. Call me Joe Conzo. I'm going to crack jokes on that motherfucker if you want to get in our culture.
More ad hominem arguments, bro. That's all you do.
No, I didn't. I literally read it.
These ad hominem arguments,
I read it.
You ain't
I read it. Look, it's on the screen now. You look at the screen? You ain't put it up again? I read everything he said. I read it.
I understand that. But you're blaming him for something that
no, I'm not. What I'm doing is I'm saying you guys are irrelevant. I'm saying Puerto Ricans are irrelevant. That's what I'm saying.
That's an ad hominem argument.
No.
Words, who needs your pictures?
It's irrelevant.
That's stupid. Oh, who cares about those little pictures?
See what's going on? This is what's going on, people. I got him on mute. He's still talking. What's happening is he can't refute anything when it comes to Black Americans being 100% innovators of our music. So what he's doing is
You
trying to say we
muted
didn't do
me.
what we
You
did
muted me.
when we broke down the full thing, an hour and a half. How long we been on? Hour and 50 minutes. So about an hour and 45 minutes ago, I broke this whole thing down. Now he's trying to come around and say we didn't acknowledge it, and he's trying to flip and change the argument to something that he can do it. I'm not going to allow you to stay in shallow waters, sir. If you're going to talk to me, you got to come into these deep waters or you got to get up out of here. What is the Puerto Rican contribution that you guys gave us that we cannot do without?
That has nothing to do with this conversation.
Yes, it does. It's my conversation.
No,
it's my conversation, not yours.
It has nothing.
This is my
to do
conversation. Yes, I do. Yes, it does. You called into my show.
With your thumbnail.
This it does.
That's what you're trying to reach.
It's about hip hop conquistadors like you,
bro.
What is Puerto Ricans? Let's get to the nitty gritty. What are Puerto Ricans giving us that we cannot have or do without? Either answer the question and move on.
That is not on the table.
It is on the table. I put it there. You on my table. What the fuck you on table? How you gonna tell me what's not on my table?
It's not on the table.
I got Apple AirPod Maxes on this table. I got my phone. This is my table, goddammit. You ain't gonna tell me what's not on my table, sir.
We're talking about Joe Conzo.
No. We're talking about whatever the hell I say talk about on my channel. I'm asking you a question. I already acknowledged that.
You're doing what
that's not an ad hominem.
Switching the subject.
No, that's not.
Switching the subject.
No, that's what you're doing. You're projecting. That's called dynamic projecting. Projection, what you're doing. You're coming in here with an agenda to switch the subject. And since I won't let you switch the subject, you're projecting your intentions onto me. That's what's happening.
What we did.
I will not allow you to switch the subject to what you want. So you're projecting your intentions onto me. That's what's happening. And an ad hominem argument, in a way, is basically is directed at a person rather than the position they're maintaining. That's an ad hominem argument. You don't even understand the definition of an ad hominem argument. An ad hominem argument is directed against the person rather than the position they're maintaining. What I am asking you is very clearly, what have Puerto Ricans contributed to hip hop that cannot be denied and cannot be refuted and cannot exist without?
That's not the topic. That is the topic on your thumbnail.
My thumbnail.
We solidified in the culture,
Puerto Rican conquistadors is the thumbnail.
We are co-creators in the culture.
How?
And I don't care
prove
what
it.
Your baby
prove it.
Prove it. I don't care what he's.
No. Prove it.
Sound like he's from New York.
You gotta prove it. You gotta prove co-creation, sir. Prove it. Prove it.
What?
You co-created. You co-created what? Prove it, nigga.
No. It's all over the place.
Prove it.
We've been there. We've
Prove
been
it.
there. Your man, your baby Spade man. I don't even know what he's talking about. So let's talk about him.
He's not being serious, folks. He's not being serious. He's not being serious. He's not being serious. Can't. You don't get to call into my show and change the subject. You don't get to do that. You're crashing out, sir. I asked you to prove a point and you could not prove it. You don't get to call in and change the subject. You don't get to listen to the 1,400 people in here listening right now and change the subject. I asked you very clearly, what did Puerto Ricans contribute to hip hop that hip hop cannot do without? And you didn't answer. And you didn't answer. And you did not answer. Here's the worst part about what he had to say. Did we not spend the first hour talking about, or 15 minutes, talking about Joe Conzo? We kind of acknowledged what he was asking me to acknowledge. And then he wanted me to go back to what I had already discussed for 15 minutes, an hour and a half ago. He literally tried to discount a baby Spade who's documented being there. He was there. And that's what the show is about. Hip hop conquistadors. You bring them in acting like they're some fucking friends or whatever, and look at what you get. He went through all that, could not name one thing that Puerto Ricans contributed, and then tried to say 50-50. From a motherfucker who did not even know the definition of an ad hominem argument. Hey, Larry, you in the chat? You know your whole ass was here, Larry. Larry, call in. No, they cannot claim breakdancing. No, they cannot. That's a black dance, purely 100% black. Breaking is black. They just came and picked up an old dance we stopped doing. They cannot claim breakdancing. No. With a capital N-O. They can't claim it. There's not one iota of our culture that is hip hop that they can claim. What we're dealing with people who don't like themselves and don't like their community. They don't like themselves and they don't like their community. So they come to ours and try to take. That's why you got to get my class starting Sunday. It's only $10 too, shit. If you only want to do one class, if you don't want to commit to the full Patreon and you only want to do one class, Sunday. Do it Sunday. 10 a.m. 11 a.m. Pacific. It's only $10. It's only $10. Only $10. Or join the Patreon for $8 a month, $9 a month, and get the whole series. You did? Because we're going to get into the full context as to why we even got to this point that we call hip-hop and sampling. Sampling came because of the destruction of our music that happened a decade prior to the popularity of sampling. All right? All right? And they took the goddamn movie down over an image that wasn't cleared. Not because the information was wrong. That's nothing I want you guys to pay attention to. The movie wasn't taken down because of bad information. It was taken down over an image that'll be disputed. And it's not that Sharon funny. Shelly, it's not that it is right. It's not that they look, I don't say their culture sucks. They say it because their parents have a proud Puerto Rican culture to pass down to their kids. And Dr. Cologne, Crazy Legs, Joe Conzo, these guys did not like it. It wasn't interesting enough for them to stay within their culture. Their culture didn't give them enough. It didn't captivate their imaginations long enough to stay. So they decided to come to our culture. Let's remember that, people. We don't put out, it ain't, look, you ain't never seen a black culture pamphlet in your life. Hey, come be a part of our culture. Hell, most niggas don't even know. Most black people don't even recognize our culture our own goddamn selves. Too many of us. Niggas are just partying. Hey, man, come to my party. And you come to the party. And then 40 years later, you created the culture. See? It's our culture. And you can get a history. You can go to debunking.com right now. And I have my hip-hop history course, my bigger than hip-hop music history course. Also got my documentary up right there. My initial version of my documentary's up. We got The Shop, the Black American Music Family Tree. You can get it right now at dewambi.com, the Black American Music Family Tree. Get it while I still have this edition up. You can go to the courses. You can enroll in I have a cardiology course coming next month. I got my 100 Years of Black American Music History course. And this here, the Conspiracy to Destroy Black America. If you just want to test it out and see the first one, you can come over here, get it right here on dewambi.com. Or what I would prefer you to do would be to join the Patreon. Go to the Patreon and join the live interview lounge. The live interview lounge will give you access to the live interactive class starting on Sunday. And for those of you into the cardiology side, if you want to be a part of the Documentary Insider for when I do release my next version, you guys can be a part of that right there. I got my cardiology reading circle, and I have members on all levels. So yeah, if you're in the cardiology clan, come on over. Also, my other trade, my real trade, my primary one, the music shit started just as fun. Yeah, join the Patreon, all right? But I'm about to get up out of here. I appreciate y'all. All right? And remember this. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. All right? I'm out.